My name is Balaji. I have a total of 6+ experience in IT industry, and in AWS, if specifically asked, I have more than 5+ years experience. So I started my career as of Windows administrator. Then I moved to network. Then I moved to security. Then storage. I did a lot of things in initial 1 year. So that's where I did work on a on-prem server, not like a cloud. Then I had opportunity in my uh, what's a project there to work on a cloud. So I started working on AWS from then and there, and then from then onwards I was with multiple companies, and I worked with a multiple customers on a different levels, like application level and security level, compliance level. There are different kind of levels AWS in cloud you have. So we worked on a lot of levels and different architectures we are provided to the customer as well. Okay. So if you consider me, I have did solution architect associate like 2 years back. I think my certification is going to be expired or 2.5 years back. So I have to do also SSL 03, and also specialty security specialty certificate. I have holding that. Yep. So that is pretty much about me. Okay. So if you have any query regarding this, do let me know. Okay. So here in this today in solution architect, so this solution associate architect have at least a minimum, it contains 30 or 35, more than 30 services, I would say, AWS. So we all covering like different modules. Basically, like it's not about a specific service we are learning, it's about a specific service type, I would say, like compute, storage, or like big data or machine learning, something that can we learn. So every topic will cover 3 to 4 service basics of that particular service, so that you can have a knowledge to figure it out. So what service you can use for a customer use case or for a particular use case. Once you know that, then you can deep dive into that particular service to achieve your use cases or whatsoever it is. Okay. So yeah, can you move to the next slide, Gaurav? Okay. So before we go to AWS directly, let's see what we need to have or what we are going to do it. So I know it's a challenging certification. I don't say it's easy, but it's a little bit challenging. That is because it is having a multiple technologies and multiple services included in it. So once you started learning the services, and once you know like a little bit of the services, then it becomes easier. Okay, but you need to spend some time, you need to do some labs, you need to do some practicals to get understand, or just by learning or by just listening we cannot able to grasp it totally, I would say. So you can have your own like test account, and you can go and test it, what it's doing it, how it is working, whatever uh, we are delivering in sessions, right? So that is how you can learn more, and you can easily grasp the things. So as I said, you need to have some basic knowledge, IT knowledge, like what is a server, how the server works, what is the different voice servers we have, like how the storage works, what is the network connection between the storage and server or database, something that kind. Okay. And yeah, as I said, so we'll covering more than 30 AWS services here. If I say 30, it's just an average number. I don't clearly say that it's more than it's this many number. No, it's about more than 30 service or 40 service. But as I said, no, it's a service types that we cover here, like compute and security compliance. That is something that kind. So yeah, someone who is not having any AWS knowledge or IT an exposure, so I don't trust them. Okay, you can learn, sing like what is slowly. It's not that important, like go up, you need to catch my phase, and then you need to get into that particular alignment. So I don't go that way. You can slowly get to the pace, but whatever we are teaching or we are just giving on the sessions, you must be grasping that. You must be relating that to the present situations or whatever the practical thing. So If you have, as far as you have that, then there is no problem in it. So if you have any problems in grasping the things, or practically how the thing works, then do let me know, that I can cover you up on that. Okay, so this is a basic, like, prerequisite or a basic thing before we start on AWS. Anything, any doubts you have till whatever we discussed?
Yeah, Balaji, sorry for interrupting.
Mhm.
Actually, I am going to drop the call because my shift will be there, means 1:30.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
okay, so can you give this message in this group, because I am in this your WhatsApp group, okay? So means I will update and then I will let you know for this
Yeah,
next.
I think Gaurav can do that. Yes.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Balaji.
Thank you for joining. Yeah.
Yeah, Balaji, I have a question.
Mhm.
Like you said that we need much practice to get hands-on AWS, right?
Mhm.
So apart from AWS service account, how do we like practice a lab? Like do we have any setup that we can make our own, or we have to log into AWS account to
Mm,
work on it?
I do not have any such accounts. I think we can have a sandbox account or something that can, but I am not sure about that. I need to, do some R&D to get into that. So you must have some account, right? Either it can be a sandbox account or a service account kind of thing to do that. But yeah,
So will it be like cost? Should we pay for it
yeah, I
or?
understand that part. I understand that, but yeah, so I need to check on that. Okay, yes, I'm not sure. So there are some free tier services, but we cannot, take the chance, right? I understand that. I will check on that, and let's see how we can do that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, let's move to what is AWS. So everyone knows, AWS is an Amazon Web Service, is one of the cloud provider, right? So why everyone is moving to the cloud? Okay, so we have everything is working fine in, on-prem, like they have their own servers. It might be a physical server, or it might be a virtual server, that VMware server, whatsoever it is, and it's working fine. If I go to the customer and ask why, can you move to the AWS, then definitely why every infrastructure is working fine in my, company. Then why I want to move to AWS. So what answer you will give? Anyone? Don't need to worry. Even it's wrong, it's okay. It's just guessing is more important.
For easy scalability and
Exactly. Yeah.
reliability.
Yeah. Scalability,
Cost,
reliability. Yes.
cost is also matters.
Exactly.
Less
Cost,
cost. Yeah.
maintenance. See, there are a lot of things included. So when you have your own physical server or virtual server, you are the one who need to manage all the things. So it doesn't matter you are using the server or you are not using the server. The cost is always there, right? And if you want to have scale up, like for example, I have a physical server, and some because of some reason the physical server is not working. So what chance I have? Whether I can go with a virtual server, which is having a VMware ESX or something, or go with a new physical server. So there is a lot of things you need to do when you are moving from one physical server to another physical server. So you need to set up hell lot of things, right? But if it same thing happens in cloud, there is in a single click you can do that. Just go to the EC2 and create a new instance and attach the volume to that instance. That's all. If I say there is nothing else you can do, you need to do on that. Okay, so there is one thing is a scalability, again the cost. you know so you got a server, and you have been using that server, and after some time you thought that there is no need of that physical server or application or something whatsoever on the running that server. Then you cannot do anything with that particular server, right? Or you can just keep there, or you can use something else. So same way, if the same thing happens in the AWS, so you can only pay to to the service that you use. Like for example, I have an instance, and instance is nothing but a server here. Okay, to the one who don't know about it. Okay, so instance, I created an instance, nothing but I created a server, and I have been using it. And when I switched it off, or when I powered off the server, then you will not pay for it. You will only pay till when you are running that particular server. So that's where it is a cost effective, right? So you will not pay for unnecessarily, time or unnecessary things. You can, and for example, in next day or next couple of days, the traffic to your application got increased. and you wanted to have a more power to your server. So if it is a physical server, then it is highly impossible to increase that. So you need to get another server or something, right? So even if it is an ESXi, you need to check what is the storage to it, how much capability does the ESXi is having it. So based on that, you can increase the capabilities. But in the server, in the AWS or a cloud, you can just do it in automatically. You can do that based on your traffic incoming. So automatically it can spin a server for you, and it automatically stop that server for you based on the traffic that is coming. That is called ELB, or auto scaling in AWS. Okay, so there are more reasons to go to the cloud. uh, yeah, these are some of it. So where these are very effective to the customers. So if you talk about AWS, so AWS is occupied more than 50% of business in cloud, I would say. And as you saw, Amazon.com is one of the customer, and Netflix is also one of the customer for the AWS. Any thoughts here?
So you said that creating an instance, it's like a server.
Mhm,
So in case if we are not using that server, or it's, let's say that we just created it and we didn't start it,
mhm,
it's in a stopped stage, not running
mhm,
stage. So will it
mhm.
be chargeable, or will it be
No,
like free?
it is not chargeable. It will be there only. If you want to start, you can start it. Once it start running, then it will be chargeable.
So in a
That too,
case like
that too,
we have create
it's
instance but we are not running it, so it's not chargeable, it's
yeah,
free.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You are not running it, but that also depends on the different types of instances. Or there are different types of instances, like based on their sizes also. So most of the times it will not give you any cost. We'll deep dive into that once we start the EC2, like begin this course. Okay, I'm just giving a brief idea about it. Okay, okay, can you move to the next slide, Gaurav? See, so I told you, we are running more than 30 services. There are some of the services like EC2, ECR, ECS, IAM. IAM is one of the important service, and KMS for the encryption, S3 for the storage, RDS for the databases. These are some basic services or important services that we discuss in the course, and there are a lot other than this also. Okay, okay, next. Yeah, let's start with AWS introduction. Okay, as I said, so AWS is occupying 47 or 50% is as of 2019. So now the main contender for the AWS is, everyone knows, there is a Microsoft Azure, right? So it's in the second place. So AWS is growing very fast, compared with any other cloud providers here. And they have more than 1 lakh users now. See, what are the, as I said, the cloud use cases, right? So it is scalable application. You can have scalable applications in fingers in AWS, and it can give it can scale the services, or it can scale the applications very easily. And you can have cost efficient applications. You can have serverless applications. You can build serverless applications, without any server behind them. Okay, and as you see, the main use cases, like for the backup storage, for analyzing the data, hosting the websites, and like gaming. There are a lot of use cases that we discussed. These are the some of them that uses the AWS, right? Yep. So now we'll main move to the building blocks of AWS. Now, so now we know, like, what is a cloud and what is AWS cloud and all, right? So now how the AWS cloud functions at the backend. So what is that infrastructure that is built in the AWS cloud, right? So it's not like so even it is a cloud, that means at the backend there might be something that they are running it. So it's not like cloud means everything is working in the cloud itself. So at the backend, they have something or some physical system that are running at the backend, and that defines the structure of AWS. So we have global infrastructure, we have availability zones, regions, data centers, edge locations, and we'll discuss about them, a brief about what is a management console and all. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Next more. Yeah. So in AWS, we have a total of 24 regions. this 24 regions includes the default regions and non-default regions. I think it might be 25 now. I think we have also Hyderabad region. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's say 24 regions now, and we have total availability zones of 77. So what is 20? What is a region about? A region is simply a location, I would say, in a particular state or a particular country. So if you see it in India, so we have a Mumbai region, right? Similarly, the one more region came up, that is Hyderabad. Okay. So similarly, for all other locations, we have different regions. So if you go to the Australia, you have Sydney, or or if you go to US, you have North Virginia, you have Ireland, you have different regions. And now when you move to availability zones, can you go to the next slide, Gaurav? Yeah. So yeah, as I said, UC. So they have the naming convention, for each region. So if you see it in the right side, you see the US East one, North Virginia is US East one, and Ohio region is US East two. Similarly, you have a Mumbai region as IP South one, Hong Kong AP East one, like something like that. They have the naming convention. Based on that, all resources in the AWS is defined by these particular regions. Is a cluster. So a region is nothing but a cluster of data centers. A region can have a minimum of two data centers or two available zones, I would say, and it has a maximum of 6 available zones. So most of the services, like I cannot say all the services, most of the services are region scoped. So when I say region scoped, so we can use one particular service in different regions, and but when you're using a region based service, if you have a resource in one particular region, then you cannot have the same, you cannot see that resource in another region. So it bound to that particular region, and it is, it stores on that particular data set as at the backend. Okay, that is the region based scope. Next slide, please. Yeah, how to choose, an AWS region, right? So you come to the AWS, and you want to spin a new server. So you are not sure about, there are different servers. Like as I said, there are 24 or 25 regions. So which region I need to select? Anyone? How you select a region, like where you wanted to have the server? On what basis you will decide which region I need to select it?
Based on the services the company is going to work. Like
Okay.
if it is working from US, so mostly they prefer US regions.
Basically, you are saying that where that particular application is consuming, right? Where it might
Yes.
consume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the, yeah. So one is the latency. You see the different things, like what is the latency that I am getting, when customer are accessing my application, right? So you need to have as much latency as as possible. You need to reduce the latency for the customers, and you need to, same way, you need to have the compliance, with data governance details, like, what are the permissions for the data, like how the data is walked in that specific region, right? So Europe, if you consider Europe has some data leverage permission, so that you know go with their compliance. So that will also be, matter. And as I said, available services, like, so in some regions there are some features that are available, and in some regions that feature is not available. You will also, make that in consideration when you're going with the region. So if I select this particular region, is my all use cases are fulfilling with all the features? If yes, then you can go with those regions. So yep, that is one of the thing. And pricing also. So pricing varies with the regions. Very what I say, very rare that it happens, very rare services, but yeah, pricing also one of the reason, I would say. Okay, any doubts here? Okay, now that is about the regions on availability zones. So as I said, right, so we have a regions, and every region has I said a minimum have two availability zones, and maximum has a 6 availability zones. So each availability zone is nothing but a data center. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is a data center?
Where the actual servers are stored, means the location.
Exactly. It's a physical location where all the data, like all the physical servers or physical devices that are stored, a rack of servers or rack of physical devices there, which are supporting the cloud or supporting the AWS services, or where they can store the data in. So why we need to have a multiple availability zones, right? Why can't we have only one and then make
Because of disaster recovery.
exactly? So yeah, one of the main use cases is to disaster. So all these availability zones are not nearby. If I select a specific space, specific place, Mumbai, it will not be there in Mumbai itself, right? It will be distributed among the region, like among the nearby regions in the Mumbai. So at least you know it will be distributed in 100 200 kilometers long. So it will not that all the availability zones can be impacted at one place until unless it is a very big disaster or something happened to whole state or something, right? So if you say AP Southeast 1, AP Southeast 2 is a region, then 2A, 2B, 2C are the different availability zones. So most customers, use these availability zones. Like for example, I have an VPC is also private control, also private network. So then what they do, they will keep the subnets in different regions, okay, different availability zones, so that if one availability zone comes goes down, they will have a different subnet that can help them, in networking or to connect to the servers. Okay, so as I said, no, these are all what is it, distributed like 100 or 200 kilometers among themselves. Like you can check, open this particular link, you can see like what are the different architecture or different availability zones that we have available in this. Can anyone open that and can see that? Just see like what's there in different. You can see different regions. You can select what are the uh, availability zones there. How many availability zones there for each service? You can see it like each region. For example, if you go to the Asia Pacific, you can see like Singapore region has 3 availability zones. It's launched when this particular region is launched, right? Similarly, see if I can see anything. See if you can also see more Hyderabad region. I just told you, right? As it's launched on 2022. So they have the 3 availability zones. Similarly, Mumbai has 3 availability zones, which is launched on 2016. Okay. So an availability zone is nothing but a data center, and region is nothing but a collection of all the data centers. So which are in between few distance ahead, right?
Okay, what is the maximum distance an availability center can have within a region?
I said 6, right? Maximum 6. That is
Sorry.
US East 1 region, North Virginia.
Yeah, those are availability zones. We can have a maximum of 6 availability zones. But
Yes.
what is the distance? Like, if we are having longer distance, then the latency may also differ, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. It will not be that long that the latency will be decreased. It will be like 100 kilometers or within 150 200 kilometers.
Okay. Is there any situation like entire region got down?
Yeah, so there are scenarios happen. I think it's in 2022, not 2020 or 2021 end or last year, um, end. I'm not sure, or last this year starting. There was a North Virginia region went down, and unfortunately, all the available zones also went down. So yeah, there is no other option that we could do, because all the availability zones also down and region itself down. So the problem with the AWS is most of the like global services I would talk about or rely on the US Eastern region. Okay, so if US Eastern region down, then there is a big impact, and it affected a lot of lakhs of customers there then and there. But they resolved it within hours though. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It happens. It happens that all available zones also goes down. That's very rare.
Okay.
Okay, so now we talked about availability zones. We talked about the regions. Any doubts still here before I move forward? We are good then. Okay. Uh, can you go to the previous slide, Gaurav? Yeah, so edge location. So we'll talk about an edge location also. So we have our regions, we have availability zones. Then becomes the edge location. So what is an edge location? So it's not possible every time, no, to go to the data center and get the data. You know, it can be a time taking. It can give you a less throughput, or it can be a less latency, right? Max latency. So then these edge locations came. So we have total of 216, out of which 205 are edge locations and 11 are regional caches. So what it does is it caches the information that are there in the data center. So if you see every region, more there are more edge locations than the availability zones of the regions, I would say. So location is nothing but an endpoint in that particular region or a particular service, I would say. There will have different endpoints. So where whenever you try to access something, it goes to the edge location where it is caching the information, and then it gets that information to you instead of directly going to the data center and getting that. So in between you have these edge locations to maintain the latency, I would say, as I said. So every region will have a more like a lot of edge locations where they, so you can ask me, so how the data will be, how much time it takes the data to replicate in the edge location, right? So it basically, as for the AWS, it will not take more than 5 minutes. On a worst case, it takes 5 minutes, otherwise it's in seconds. So whenever you change something in the service, it directly goes to the edge location and it puts there, and you can access that from the edge location directly itself. So that is eventual consistency in AWS. Like, so it is taking time to get it replicated in the edge locations. Because of that, you might face some issues. That is called an eventual consistency. We'll talk about those in details. Like, I'm just giving the information. Okay. Any doubts? Anything on?
No.
Oh, great. Okay, I would like to give an AWS tour, but I'm not sure whether I can do that. Let me try. So how the AWS console looks like, I just want to check, give you a tour. Wait, if I can do that, let me know. Let me see it. So how the console looks like, what are the different services, what are the service types we have, and how the regions looks like, what are the global services. When you access a global service, how the console looks like, how you identify, whether it is a global service or a regional service, something like that. Overall, by chance, do you have any access to AWS console? I don't think so, right?
Let me try. Okay. Okay. By the way, I joined from my site. My name is 𝐏𝐀𝐈𝐃.
Okay.
All right. Let me see. AWS console, right? I'm not sure it's been. But I don't have a credential here to log into the console.
Someone said they have the free tier.
Let me see first. It's been a long time. Oh man, how difficult it is.
If it is, Gaurav.
Yeah, I got it. I got this page. I am able to log in here. I think if we click
Oh,
on the
nice.
services, we can see that now, right?
Exactly. So you click on the different, these are not the services, these are the service types that I would say. So collection of like analytics where you have a different services in analytics. So if you go to the compute, you'll have different services in the compute, something that kind. Okay. So, and if you see the right top, you see the name of the account holder. Okay. Or from using which logged in. Either it might be logged in using a root account or IAM or a user account, and you see the region there. Okay, and specific in which region are you now logged in or something. You can change any region you wanted based on your use case. And you see at the down there are 9 regions that are not enabled for this account, right? So that says, as I said in the initial, total 24 or 25 regions, out of which some are not enabled by default. If you want to use them, you can go and enable it, but you will not get charged anything for enabling that, but you will get charged for the resources that you are using in that particular regions. That's all. So it's not enabled by default. Also, you can go and enable them. Like for example, Hyderabad region one of that, and Milan is one of that. Hong Kong. See, there are different regions that you can manage them. So can you open the IAM once here, Gaurav?
Where we need to click?
Yeah, you can see in the
Where search?
recently. Yeah, you can search IAM also. Yeah. IAM. So A for Apple. Yeah, yeah,
This one,
first one.
right?
Yeah. So IAM is the soul or heart of the AWS, I would say. Why? Because so if you want to use any resources in AWS or in your AWS account, you need to have a user, or that user need to have permissions. That all can be managed by this IAM. So that's why IAM security is one of the important topic or important thing in AWS. So by mistake, if any of your IAM user credentials got compromised, then there are a lot of things that they can do with those credentials. With that credential, they can increase your bill like $1 to to $1 lakh, $1,000 or $100K. So that too based on the permission that the user has. So that is very important. That so the security you are maintaining in the cloud is up top level or top notch. So you see when as soon as you switch to the IAM service, the region is went to global, right? So if you click on a global, can you click on global, Gaurav?
Mm, what
No,
is that option? Yeah.
right top, yeah. So you see all the regions are grayed out. So that is because IAM is a global service and it is not linked to an individual region. Okay. So when I say a global service, so it might be storing somewhere, right? If I'm creating a user, it needs to be stored somewhere. Then in which region it is stored? So it is stored in a US Eastern region. This is the backend. Okay. So I'm seeing some echo. Okay. So that is about a global region. So it is operates in a US Eastern region and you cannot change it to a specific region. Okay. So this is pretty much about the console, like how it looks like, what are the different options you have, what are the services, how you can search for a service, all the things. Can you go back to the PPT? Or anyone have any doubts before we move forward? Yeah, as I said, this is service types. I said like these are the things we are going to discuss or we are going to talk about in this course. Like we talk about analytics, application integration, security, identity, and compliance. That I told you one of the important topic, and database is one of the important topics. Storage, compute. These are all some important topics. So if you talk with if we're talking about which one we are going to start first, then it's always with the security, identity, compliance. That is nothing but an IAM. Okay, so can you go next? Yeah, so before we move, let's discuss about some service types. Like I told you, like compute, storage, database, networking. Can anyone tell what is a compute? So you have an application, right? So how the application runs, where application runs, that's need to be have some platform to get it run, right? So that is where this compute comes from. So it has the application or application data that needs to be processed somewhere. That is a server. It can be a server. It can be anything, right? So like what are the services that supports in AWS? The compute thing. That is one of the services EC2. As I said, EC2 instance you can create and then you can run the application into it and then you can manage them. The other one is Lambda. So Lambda is a serverless service where you will not have any server into it, and it's like a function where you will write your own code or your application code and you run it, and there is no backend server or something that is there. Similarly, you have Elastic Beanstalk, where you will deploy your applications automatically, or you can manage them automatically in a cluster manner. Okay, now you have the compute thing, you have the processes thing. So once you have application and you can process the application, so where you will store the data, right? So that's need to be there to store the data that is being processed by a compute service. So we have a different services that can be done. So one of this S3, like simple server storage or simple service storage, I would say. So this is one of the popular service, or most of the guys or most of the users uses this S3 service to store the data. And then we have a EBS, the blocking elastic block service, which can be attached to an EC2 instance. So for example, instance should have a volume, right, or should have the storage where it can store the files. So that is the EBS. Similarly, you can have a EFS file system, FSX, like to share the uh, it's like a file server where you can share your data to a different systems or different servers on FSX, and they have a storage gateway. So we'll all discuss about these services, in this course. So once you have the storage, then you have a database. Okay, so you need to have the application need to fetch the data from the database, and what kind of different, what are the services that supports database in AWS. Like RDS is one of the relational database service. So that is it is like MySQL, or there are different other service, MongoDB, something like that, and DynamoDB is not a relational database. It is like a row column kind of thing, and you can have data in row column, and then you can fetch them by using SQL queries. Similarly, Redshift is the cluster based service where you have can collect all the data in one place and make a cluster of them and then use that. Okay, so now you have all the things, like you have instance, you have a storage, and you have a database. Now how you will come in all these three will communicate. That is the networking, right? So you will define how these things communicates and where these servers are kept, and how the routing thing happens between them. That is defined by the networking. One is the VPC, virtual private cloud, and then we have a direct connect. So direct connect is for on-prem server, from on-prem to cloud. So when I say on-prem, that means when the company has their own setup in the physical era or virtual era, and then they want to connect with AWS, then they can use a direct connect. Similarly, Route 53 is for DNS routing, or how the DNS route can happens to your applications, how it can route to which server or which different service it can. That's defined by the Route 53. Similarly, API gateway is a direct connect, is direct connection for your application, to get for your customers. So this is just brief. I'm giving this brief about the things that we are going to discuss in detail in the course, the coming course. Okay. Any doubts there? I think I am already passing 1 hour time, so I'm not going to cover this identity access management in detail, but I just give you some brief about it, right? This is the first service we talk about in any of the course we start. So because, as I said, identity access management is a heart of AWS. Because, so let's say you have an application, right? Any application we talk about, it's a Facebook. Let's say you have a Facebook. So how you can use a Facebook? You can create an account, right? Can create an account, and you can go and give all the details whatever you have. Similarly, if you have a AWS account, so AWS account, so there are two different things in account. One is a root account, the IAM users. So when I say a root account, so that root account has highest privileges. He can do anything in that particular account, and you cannot restrict that root account to to do this, to not to do this, or to block him to do from doing this or this. No, you cannot do that for the root account. So that's where we suggest customers to do not use root account for any of the daily basis work, or you cannot use the root account credentials in the like code, if they are using any code or something, because once the root credentials are compromised, then the game is over. So you need to close the account, otherwise it can be very difficult. Like, I know you can go and change the password, and you can go and change the access keys and the different credentials, but if you are not identified that the root credentials are compromised, then there is high risk that you see a lot of billing and there are a lot of resources will be created in your account. Okay, and that's why we don't suggest customers to use root account. So what is a root account? How the root account is created, right? So if you know, when you create an account, so how you will create it, you need to give an email address and you need to set up the billing details and all, right? So that particular email address is the root account email user or whatever root account. So you can use that email address to log into your account and use the password. Like you can set it the password while logging in, or after that also you can do forgot password and set it. So that is the root account. So when I'm talking about IAM user account users or IAM accounts, after login to the root, then you can create IAM users. No, for example, I have an IAM user, or I have a employee in my company where he want to access only to servers because he's a Windows administrator or server administrator. Then I can give only those permissions to that particular guy, particular that employee. That can be achieved from IAM. So IAM user will you will create and attach some permissions. Like for example, if I want to give a permission to only EC2, I can do that to EC2, or give permissions only to EC2 by using the IAM policies. So these are the main 5 entities in IAM. One is user, group, policy, roles, and identity providers. So users, you know it, as I told, you can create a user and you can send him the username and password and they can log in and then they can access the resources. Group, so you can have a collection of groups, for example, testing, development, prod. So you will define this prod group should have these permissions. So some whosoever added into that particular group, they will inherit those policies. Okay, similarly in testing on other groups, they will inherit the policies. Similarly, like, so this is the policies which defines the permissions to different entities and I am like user, group, and roles. Okay. Roles are like, for example, you want to give permissions but on a temporary basis, not for a long term. Okay, then you can use the roles. And then identity providers, like this is one of the good topic. But yeah, so you have on-prem, right? So you have on-prem setup already. You have in the on-prem you have a AD, so Active Directory. Who is don't know, Active Directory is a collection of it's like a database where it collects your all the user information and all the details, right? So now you have already AD where you have 1,000 or 2,000 users in your company. So what you do, so if you want them to access the AWS, you cannot go and create all those 2,000 users or 3,000 users in your IAM console, IAM user, right? So you can federate them from your AD to AWS directly. That is by using the identity provider topic. That is called a federation basically. Okay, that will be done using a SAML. Okay, so this are just giving a brief about it. Yeah, nothing going in detail. Okay, any doubts here? Great to hear that. Next slide, please. Yep. Any questions, guys? Any questions on things? Anything you can ask till now, whatever we discussed. It's just a demo. Like I'm not going in detail on any of the topics.
Yeah, hi, I'm Paulmi here. So, how will we be doing the hands-on practice?
That's a good question. That's I need to figure it out. I'm not sure exactly how we can do that. Because whenever I tried previously with others, like not here, like in others, they had their own account or they have their service account or sandbox account they did. So I need to check on that. I'll check and might get back to you on.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anyone, anything else? No, we're good. So anyone who is interested on taking this course, you can reach out here. Like I'm just giving you the details. They can reach out there. Okay. Please note those details also.
Class timings, course durations. That's
Okay, so this course duration goes from 40. I'm just giving an rough idea, 40 to 45 hours, I would say. So if you divide 2 hours, like 6 hours a week, then it can go till a 7 or 8 weeks. That means 2 months or maybe before that. So based on the pace we are going, right? So mostly it's 40 to 45 hours, and we'll try to cover 6 hours a week. That's how we go.
Timings.
Pardon?
Timing.
Uh, that we need to decide like how
Okay.
many or how that might be. It might be in a weekends or a weekdays or like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something that kind, or Saturday, Sunday, like however it is comfortable with you guys.
Hello,
Yeah, Gaurav.
my name is Sagar. Just wanted to ask you about AWS. Means what exactly we are going to learn over here, and if I'm new to the AWS, so is it good for me to start from here onwards, or should I learn from the basic? Means I know the database knowledge, SQL, and the Linux about. So is it good to go from this, or should I
Yeah.
start from earlier?
See, this particular what is course is the basic course. There is one AWS practitioner course or something, but that is not that much detail, or that is simple. So this is, if you want a good technical certification about a cloud, this is one of it, and it can cover from the basics. So you can join and then start from basics. It's not like that like you don't have the basics and you will be struggling here. No, it might be 1 or 2 days, and after that you will get into the phase. I would suggest you go with that. Go with the service exactly. That's not a big problem. You can just cover the basics from starting of the basics.
And what exactly does it require in the market? Means if I did this course, so how it will help me to get into any kind of work or something
No.
that.
So yeah. So if you are not working in cloud, right? As of now, let's say, and you wanted
uh,
to move to the cloud, so
mhm.
they will definitely ask you, right? So what knowledge you have in the cloud. So either you can
Okay.
prove that by having an experience or
Mhm.
by knowledge. So how you prove you have the knowledge? You prove by
Oh,
certifications, or you can tell them I have a certification, I did some experience, I have some practical on this or something that kind.
okay.
So
So
it's
basically, it's all about the services that AWS is providing. So we have to learn means what exactly this all different parameters do. So it's not about
different services. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's about not on a solution architect level. It's about a basic architect level that we discuss, like on a basics how we can use a particular a simple architect. Like I want to have an application built, right? So you can just
Okay,
think of the different services in AWS and they can do that. That is
okay,
the
okay,
basic knowledge you will get it. Not
okay.
in-depth knowledge of a solution architect, but it's a basic level of architect. That's why it is a associate solution architect, right? Yeah, it's not network related course. It is also have a network part in it, but it's overall architect level course is a so associate architect. By name only you can say it's not a basic architect level knowledge you will get it in the AWS.
So if I wanted to move from one module to different module, so every time I have to give the previous examination for that as well.
When you say one module to another module, so they have some specific certifications, like for example, as I said, no, they have a security specific specialty certificate. It's not there for all the specialties, but some specialties they have that. And if you want to go deeper than this, then there are like professional certificates, they have solution architect certificates, something like
Okay,
that. Okay,
okay,
this is the
okay.
basic one I would say,
So
apart
I
from the
can start even if I
practitioner.
don't have any prior knowledge or
Yeah,
experience
you
on
can
this,
you
I
can
can
you can
start from here onwards.
yes, you can start.
Okay, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, no issues. Anyone else?
So just my name is Pauline here. So working as a Oracle DBA. So just basic DBA knowledge that is fine. So rack knowledge is not required here to be
No,
done.
no, no. So here also in the same in this course, we are also going with the basic knowledge, not going in depth on any of the services. Like, so it's only basic knowledge, but some services we go in depth because you need to understand the architect level of that, right? So yeah, not going in depth like rack level and all those. No, it's only on basis.
And what would be the total duration for this course and the fee structure for this if we are interested to learn?
So duration, as I said, is 40 to 45. So for
Okay,
the fees, you need to check with Gaurav.
okay.
Means currently currently I'm working as a Oracle DBA. If I wanted to switch my career in cloud, so means they will be looking some working experience in or this knowledge will be this fine for the interview purpose.
No, see, you have already working experience in the DBA, right?
Yes, correct.
So you want to link that with the cloud. So how you can link that when you have the knowledge in the cloud, right? So how you will get the knowledge by doing this course or something like architect level knowledge. So then once you know AWS knowledge or a cloud knowledge, not only talking about AWS, any cloud knowledge, then you can relate whatever. So wherever you go on a cloud, the basics are the same. The
Yes,
backend basics are the same. You just need to be, you know, what do you say, mutual, or you need to be knowing about the basics of that particular cloud platform that you are going to use. That's all. So once you know that knowledge, then you can always move from on-prem to the cloud, and you can relate that. It's just like using Java or using Python or a C++. See, the logic is same. You need to only use a different syntax, right?
yes, correct.
The same way goes here also.
But actually, in the interview purpose, people are looking for the working experience. No, they prefer the working professionals, means who
So
have
see,
knowledge. Yeah.
what I say is, as soon as you have the knowledge and you could
Yes.
able to answer the question, that's fine. So
Okay. Okay.
they'll also ask for the queries. Since you have the certification and all right, if you have the certification and go with the interview, then they will test it based on our certification only.
Okay.
Or else if you have any opportunity to do in AWS in your present company, then that's always welcome, right? It's always good.
Yeah.
The same way goes here also.
But actually, in the interview purpose, people are looking for the working experience. No, they prefer the working professionals, means who
So
have
see,
knowledge. Yeah.
what I say is, as soon as you have the knowledge and you could
Yes.
able to answer the question, that's fine. So
Okay. Okay.
they will also ask for the queries. Since you have the certification and all right, if you have the certification and go with the interview, then they will test it based on our certification only.
Okay.
Or else if you have any opportunity to do in AWS in your present company, then that's always welcome, right? It's always good. Yes, you can join this Aruba. It's not a problem.
Hi guys. I hope you know me all. My name is 𝐏𝐀𝐈𝐃. I'm the founder of this Learnomate Technologies, and we are doing this training under this Learnomate Technology platform only. So I would like to thanks Balaji. It was a really nice session, and even I was listening to that, and it was really fantastic. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
So just wanted to tell few things in the last before we leave this meeting. Irrespective of any technology, okay, I was working with this IT industry from last 1 decade almost, okay, 10 plus years of experience. I worked with the multiple technologies, including your I worked with the Cognizant, Infosys, L&T, Wipro, multiple companies I've worked, okay. AWS is something which is not stick to the one technology, okay. Let's say you're working as a Oracle DBA, okay. Let's take example that you are working as a Oracle DBA. Nowadays, the expectation is that along with the Oracle DBA, you should have some knowledge about the cloud technology. That is very important. So Oracle DBA plus cloud combination is absolutely very good. Okay, if you put that you have experience with the AWS, absolutely, your resume will be highlighted. Second thing is, let's say you are working as a DevOps engineer. DevOps plus AWS combination is really good. Let's say you are working with any operating system kind of things or server level kind of things. Maybe it is Linux, or maybe you're working with the Windows. Along with that, if you add the combination of AWS, again, that will be really awesome. Let's say you're working with the platform like let's take example of big data, Hadoop technology, big data plus big data or Hadoop. Along with that, if you're adding any cloud, okay, not specific to the AWS, I'm specific. Let's take an example of AWS only. So it will be a really good combination. So AWS is something, it is providing a platform which you can stick to the any technology, irrespective of any technology. whenever you want to start the career, you know that you should have a knowledge about the SQL and Linux, right? That is a very generic technology, because we used anywhere, irrespective of any technology. You want to provision with the Java, you want to provision with the server technology, you want to provision with the any kind of the DevOps or anything, AWS plan very important things. So Balaji, as is discussed about, he's talking about the EC2 instance, right? So we are going to use that in our Oracle DB also. Okay, so don't worry about the things and all, like whether it is good for you or not. I'm telling you upfrontly, honestly, with the recordings, that AWS is something which is a future. Okay, which is really a demanding future, and we already have 50% shares in the market, right? So think on it, start it as soon as possible before the people jump into it, and try to grab the opportunity. So those people who are putting the AWS into their resume, you can see that your resume will be on the priority. Okay, because many times when my candidates are going, I see that most of the candidates are from my training only here. So they are lagging behind because the technology, but along with that, if you have a combination of any cloud specific technology, then it's like a bread and butter combination. Okay, so don't take your time, join us, and I can personally tell you that is the best one. Okay, so apart from this, if you have any questions, let us know. We already specified the contact details here. Okay, so you can reach out to us, and we'll start immediately, depending on the availability of our trainer as well as the availability of the candidates. Okay, we'll take a decision and we'll start it as soon as possible. Yes, anything, Balaji, you want to say in the last?
Nothing much. So you got it all. So if you want to learn it, so any cloud is best. So AWS is one of the leading cloud platform, I would say here. So it's always great to have a certification in your hand, and the market is, you have a lot of opportunities in the market with this certification or whatever the knowledge with the cloud, and try to relate the cloud with your knowledge that you already have, and it will boost you. Definitely it will boost, because even I had, as I said initially, I worked as an Windows administrator, network administrator, then I moved to AWS. So once you move to the AWS, you will not stick to one specific administration or one specific thing. You will learn all the things, and you will try to relate all the things. That is the level of an architect, do all those things, right? So you will go to that particular level once you start learning it. That's all I would say.
Yes, correct. Okay, I think we can stop here. Thank you so much for listening us. I know that, and thanks Balaji also for. It was a really nice session. So we'll let you know everything, guys. Okay, please reach out to those who are interested for this training. Okay, it will be completely real time based training. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Bye bye. See you
Thank you
again.
guys. Thanks guys for joining. Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a nice day.